Imagine an artificial intelligence as a brilliant student, completely frozen in time. They know everything about the world up until the moment their training ended, and then nothing. This freeze means they are blind to current events. They know nothing about private records, your specific computer code, or internal team notes. Working with one of these models is like hiring a genius to take an open book exam on your business. They have the brain power, but they're staring at a blank test without any of the textbooks they need to pass. To get an answer, we have to physically hand them the right information while they're sitting at that desk. This act of handing the right data to the AI is known as context injection. It's the central challenge of using these models for real-world work. There are two different strategies to get that data onto the desk. We can either provide a carefully organized index of snippets, or we can ask the AI to speed read every document you own. In the end, an AI's answer is only as useful as the specific pages we choose to put in front of it. The first strategy is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. Think of this as the index approach to our open book exam. Before the exam, we chop your massive documents into small paragraphs and store them in a database. When you ask a question, a high-speed librarian scans for related ideas. It pulls the most relevant pieces and drops them onto the student's desk to answer. This is highly efficient. By clearing away the rest of the library, we give the AI only the specific facts it needs to see. But this relies on a retrieval lottery. If the librarian grabs the wrong paragraph, the AI never sees the correct information, and it will confidently give you the wrong answer. While RAG works well for specific questions, but it assumes your search system is skilled enough to find the right needle in the haystack every single time. The second strategy is the speed reader approach, often referred to as long context. Technology has expanded the AI's context window, stretching a small desk into a massive boardroom table. We dump the entire unfiltered stack of books in front of the student at once, allowing them to connect distant details and spot contradictions a librarian might miss. But speed reading is expensive. To answer even a simple question, the AI has to process that entire mountain of paper every single time you talk to it, which uses a lot of computing power. However, even a genius can lose focus. When you crowd the desk with too much information, the AI gets overwhelmed and starts missing small details buried in the middle of the stack. Long context is great for seeing the big picture, but it's a heavy lift that can sometimes cause the finer points to blur together. Choosing between the index and the speed reader depends on the scale of the information you're dealing with. For most large companies, data is measured in terabytes. It's an endless library of files that would stretch for miles. No matter how large the desk becomes, you cannot fit an entire corporate library onto it. For a search that spans a whole organization, the speed reader approach eventually hits a wall. Use long context for limited data, like a 50-page contract, requiring deep comparison across every page, but use RAG to navigate thousands of files. An index acts as a filter, protecting the AI from information overload. Building a helpful business AI requires a smart model and the skill to put the right information in its hands at exactly the right moment.